I bring and keep together my family, my community, other families and communities who live in peace and unity with others. I am unity.
Today is our third discussion of the universal law called I am unity. It is one of the 11 universal laws represented by the guiding principles of peace and unity. In this discussion, we will analyze racism, which is one of the violations of I am unity. Normally, we would organize debates and discussions around the violations of the guiding principles of peace and unity. But racism is different because most rational people know its manifestations are objectively evil. We won't debate it. But how it operates is not well defined or understood. More important, as Black people, we must have a correct understanding of it and an effective way to address racism because it is primarily directed at us. But before we begin talking about racism, let's put all of this into context. There are three areas critical to the success of the Black community in Africa and the African diaspora. They are culture, education, and economics. In this video series, we continue to examine issues and concepts related to creating a culture to develop self-love, which those who care about the Black community may examine and consider. As usual, we will define culture. We must define it because most of us have wrong ideas about culture. We think culture is the music we listen to, or the style of clothing that we wear, or our celebrations and holidays, or whether we eat with a fork, knife, or spoon, or eat with our hands. Those things and activities are not culture. Culture comes from the word cultivate, which is related to the domestication and growth of plants. Culture is like a gardener who cultivates a young plant by tying it to a stand for support, putting it in a certain location, and watering it. The gardener does that to foster the growth of the plant to become tall and strong, so it does not grow bent and crooked, so it does not become a weed. The gardener does this with labor, care, and study to ensure that her plants are the best. Culture is a system to cultivate and civilize our people. This is done by tying people to universal laws and standards of behavior based on a foundational premise: do good, do no harm. So we will grow strong, not bent and crooked. If you care about the children, women, and men of Black communities, you will use labor, care, and study to make sure that they are at their best. Tie yourself, your family, your people to the universal laws called the guiding principles of peace and unity. I meditate to relax in all situations. I am peace. I bring and keep together the families and communities who live in peace and unity with others. I am unity. I learn how to learn. I am knowledge. I create for myself, my family, and my community. I am power. I obey the laws of my family and community that are in harmony with peace and unity. I am law. I do no harm to my family, other families, or my community. I am protection. I choose the feelings, thoughts, and actions that are in harmony with the principles of peace and unity. I am control. I have fun and work with my family and my community. I am cooperation and harmony. I am careful about what I believe. I accept ideas and beliefs that are in harmony with these guiding principles. I am correct ideas and beliefs. With all my heart, I take care of my family, other families, and communities that are living according to the principles of peace and unity. I am devotion. I keep a clean body. I have clean habits. I eat healthy food. I exercise. I care for my environment and planet. I abuse no substance or drug. I am strength. These universal laws are how your ancient ancestors built advanced civilizations that lasted for thousands of years. Many of us admire the great pyramids, the temples, the university complexes, and the libraries and the wealth of our ancient ancestors. What is most important for you to understand is that those achievements came from our advanced social organization. Social organization based on universal laws. This is what is important for Black people and communities to understand today. That is what the guiding principles of peace and unity will help you do today and forever. Currently, Black communities are living in various levels of social chaos, corruption, poor health, and economic stagnation as a result of holding on to conditioned behaviors from slavery and colonialism. It is these conditioned behaviors which have destroyed self-love within us and within our communities. By rebuilding your culture based on these universal laws, you will revive self-love and bring order and purification, health, and progress back to Black communities. With the guiding principles of peace and unity as a foundation, culture will, 1, prepare you for life. 2, foster your growth. 3, improve you as a person and as a community. You can always download a copy of all the guiding principles of peace and unity and their violations at our website, thegppu.org. Now, back to the universal law, I am unity, and its violation, racism. We will use the approach of our ancient ancestors to analyze racism. Why? Because the priests and priestesses of ancient Black civilizations like Kemet, Sumer, Zimbabwe, and all the rest were scientists first. It is their scientific approach that allowed them to solve problems and make discoveries before other peoples of the earth. So, first we will look at racism using science. Science says that racism is related to what is called other race effect, also called cross-race effect or own race bias. It is well documented in psychology as well as neuroscience. Other race effect means that people are generally better at recognizing and distinguishing faces from their own racial or ethnic group than from other racial and ethnic groups. This happens when we are not accustomed to being around or interacting with people from other racial groups. You've heard people say, "They all look alike to me." That is not racist or really problematic. That is other race effect. That is how your brain works. Science also says that your brain automatically categorizes people by shape, sex, color, and that it recognizes faces in milliseconds. That is not racist either. It is just how your brain works. Your brain also has automatic threat detection systems based on context and whether a face is from your group or from outside your group. This threat detection system includes the amygdala, the hippocampus, and other brain centers. But scientists also say that there's no racist part of the brain. This is just how your brain works. But there is a point in which things become problematic because there is a social learning component involved in teaching about potential threats. What scientists do agree on is that these natural brain functions must be conditioned and learned to be activated in response to people of a specific color or ethnicity. Racism must be taught. If children and young people are taught negative associations to sex or color or a group, these neuropsychological brain functions will be conditioned to automatically connect and respond to those negative associations. What does that mean? It means that you have to be taught racism. Negative associations with people of color and ethnicity are digested by the subconscious mind at the morning breakfast table, at the school lunchroom table, at the dinner table, by trusted parents, teachers, aunts, uncles, and peers, or other trusted information sources like social media. Why is racism evil? It is evil because you're taught and conditioned to see only a person's skin color. You have no idea if that person is good or bad. You have no idea if he, she is a potential doctor who will cure cancer, or a megalomaniac who will destroy a whole nation so he can rule over the ashes. You are responding only to their color or ethnicity. Let's look at it from the other side. You're a child born into this earth. You're happy, playful, intelligent, curious, creative. You love life. You love it so much you jump, hop, and skip through it with a smile on your face almost every single day. Every morning is a new adventure for you. You see people as people. You see yourself as just people. Then a racist in your town, in your school, in your government decides that based on your skin color, you will be denied opportunity for education, employment, or a chance to make a positive contribution to our world. You are regulated to a substandard education, denied employment. Efforts are made to limit any of your creative efforts and endeavors. The racists justify this by saying that you are inferior because of your color, when what you are is disadvantaged because they have put you in a position of disadvantage by denying you the opportunity. These racists would even beat, maim, mutilate, hang, burn, murder you for even trying to make efforts to endeavor. Your inner worth means nothing to a racist. This is what racism does to a happy child. Yes, racism is an evil scourge on our planet, and racists are consciously or unconsciously practicing evil. This is why racism is a violation of the universal law, I am unity. This is why it is one of the few violations that cannot be debated. But as a Black people, what should be our response? Because racism is primarily directed at us. The correct and effective way is by living according to a culture of universal social laws represented by the guiding principles of peace and unity and its foundational premise: do good, do no harm. Use these universal laws to evaluate and judge people based upon the consistency of their actions and policies and the content of their characters. What have they done in the past? What are they doing now? Using these universal laws and the premise, do good, do no harm, will allow you to be clear-eyed when you evaluate people, will allow you to internally withdraw from them mentally and emotionally if they are racist, will allow you to withdraw from them material support when it's necessary. Your survival and prosperity depend on you giving no support to racism and to racists. Avoid spreading your money or spending your money with racists or with organizations or businesses that demonstrate racist policies and practices. Most important, teach your children to reject racism and racists. Do not allow them to go out into the world uninformed and unarmed about the knowledge that could protect them mentally, emotionally, and physically from the evil of racism and racists. We will continue this important topic in the next I Am Unity discussion. You can always watch our previous I Am Unity discussions on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Watch the following video about Martin Luther King Jr. It's about the Higher Self Awards. It will show you an example of how to create a culture of self-love based upon the universal law called I Am Unity. Do you know an I Am Unity hero like Dr. Martin Luther King? Nominate that person for the I Am Unity Award. Until I see you again, do good, do no harm.
Discover the spirit of unity embodied by Martin Luther King Jr., a true champion of the I Am Unity Award, one of the Higher Self Awards. As a civil rights leader, King led the movement from the mid-1950s until his assassination in 1968, leaving a legacy of profound achievements. His leadership in the Montgomery bus boycott marked the first nonviolent bus boycott, lasting 382 days and leading to the Supreme Court ruling against segregation on public buses. At the March on Washington in 1963, King delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, drawing over 250,000 people, advocating for equality and justice. King's protests were key in passing the Civil Rights Act of 1964, dismantling legalized racial segregation in the U.S. In 1964, King became the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate, recognized for his commitment to nonviolence and equality. Through the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, King provided leadership, using nonviolent tactics to advance civil rights. Honor those who, like King, strive to bring people together in harmony. Nominate your hero for the I Am Unity Award today. This award celebrates achievements in community organizing, conflict resolution, and diversity advocacy. Nominate a hero at higherselfawards.org.